Hi, everyone, and welcome to the next installment of the Academic Insights, where we're looking at ARK Invest 2023 big ideas. Today, we're going to look at the technological convergence idea, and we have Dr. Marcell Vollmer. Marcell, can you introduce yourself and let everyone know what you do?
Hello, also from my side, and Justin, many thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure. And yeah, Marcell Vollmer. I'm CEO at Hospitalia Group, which is a private equity group focusing on providing everything what hospitals need. So procurement for hospitals, that's where the name comes from. But it's much more. It's also analytical solutions, supply chain solutions, and very critical that a patient in need gets everything in time what they need. To keep it short, I started my career after my study at university in Hamburg. I studied economics at DHL. I was driving some restructuring, post-merger integration projects. DHL into Deutsche Post was one of them, as well as following up on setting up customer service. I joined later on SAP. I was more than 14 years senior executive at SAP, starting with shared services, post-merger integrations, business object Sybase, transforming procurement. That's where I really got deeper in the procurement space, as well as also in looking in some acquisitions with Ariba, Fieldglass, Concur. SAP acquired the market leaders for source to pay. And I moved to the United States, Atlanta, Georgia, to integrate these companies as chief operating officer. Amazing time. I love Atlanta. Sorry that I didn't get rid of my strong German accent. I tried hard, but you see, I successfully failed. Sorry for that. No, was really amazing. I concluded my career as Chief Digital Officer in the Cloud Business Group at SAP before I joined Celonis, market leader and one of the most successful startups in Europe for process analytics, process mining as Chief Innovation Officer. And just before my current role, I was a partner and director at BCG Strategy Consulting, and focusing on helping clients all over in the world to define their digital transformation strategy. SAP S/4HANA was certainly one part, but also supply chain procurement topics, and also looking in some artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT technologies, whatever is needed really to keep a business competitive. Great being here today.
I appreciate that, and you have a very impressive background from a technological perspective. Hence, why we're talking today. Yeah, so
awesome.
So whenever we're talking about technological convergence, what is your definition? Because if we ask 10 people, we get different answers. So let's just start with what your definition would be.
Oh, Justin, that's a great question. For me, at the end, what really counts is the user perspective. So what is really the use case and the benefits, whatever technology we are talking about is providing here for a business or for a person. That's, for me, best example, of course, the Apple iPhone. Certainly everyone has it and or has a smartphone. Using it, and isn't it brilliant? It is more than 30 different devices what we had in the past, and I was born 1970. Now you know how old I am. Basically, television got colored, there was radio, and the telephone was going this for one digit, by the way, for millennials or Generation Z who have not even seen something except probably in a museum. And for me, it's very important that you really can leverage an innovation and bring it to the market, and really also that probably 50 plus million people are using it. That's my definition. And we have seen that airline industry, for example, it took 68 years. Automotive was 62, a little bit faster. When you look now, ChatGPT, basically it took 5 days to get to 1 million users and less than 2 months to go to 100 million users. So that's really where you see, just to bring this in perspective, Twitter took 2 years to get to the same number, to 50 million. From the numbers. And here you see, you need to have an technology, but an innovation is it when you really have also defined use cases which people love to use, and basically also when you see the scalability. That's my definition, how I take it, and what I learned from being more than 15 years in the tech industry, where you really can harvest the benefits then from the technology.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, so whenever you bring up an excellent point in defining those use cases, you know, the use cases that users are going to actually use. And I think that we're at the current state, and so I'm going to focus on blockchain, where, you know, organizations and teams and projects are building a lot within a blockchain space, but they're not really building the use cases that users need. Right? They need usability. They need wallets that they can use. They need platforms that's going to be intuitive, but they're building complex DeFi platforms where I'm a tech guy and sometimes I get a little confused, right? So, you know, can you expand based, you know, more on use cases and why you think that, you know, blockchain is kind of falling a little bit in terms of creating the true things to get that global adoption, that chat GPT adoption?
Justin, you really got me. Getting blockchain and making something like ChatGPT out of that, I think there is still a little bit time to go, even by knowing that the technology is a little bit longer in the market. I was very impressed, and you are perfectly right. There are amazing cases on blockchain, what blockchain potentially can do, but it's not really also focusing all the time on solving scalable user problems and really brings us to market in an efficient and effective way. And with efficient and effective, I definitely mean not only the technology component, but also the related cost to it. I have shared an article and was very early also looking into blockchain technology. It is probably better we talk about distributed ledger technology, but I think that's more on the definition side, happy as it's a more common term to use to continue with blockchain. But we talk about distributed ledger technology. And when I was sharing a use case about Everledger and having diamonds really traceable and putting a laser number on it that you really can, from the origination of a diamond, getting out of a mine to the market, wherever it is used, industry purpose or private purpose, but basically making this transparent and having really end-to-end transparency, monitoring where a diamond come from. You don't want to have blood diamonds in your supply chain and bring this to market. Beautiful case. But what you also should consider is it is very expensive to use the technology. And the base principle from blockchain, what most people might know with Bitcoin, that you have the proof of work, proof of stake, depending on which technology is used, that this costs really a lot of money, and the consensus principle is something which is good on the one side because you can't manipulate it, but on the other side also it is a huge effort on the technology side, on the infrastructure what you need. And therefore the question is, what is it really what you want to solve? Do you have a trust problem? Do you really need to have all these steps by the consensus what Bitcoin has or Ether, or is it probably enough just to make something transparent? Palm oil was another great example what I used. And palm oil, when you want to really understand where it comes from, you want to have it in a sustainable way. Sustainability here in Europe, I'm in Germany right now, is a very, very hot topic. And you want to also get certificates. You want to exactly know from which farmer, from which field is the palm oil coming. But at the end, it's palm oil. And honestly spoken, when you ship it, you don't have really, you don't separate it. It is then part of a large ship transporting palm oil. And basically, you only have a certificate where you can prove, okay, this is a palm oil and I buy it, I own it, and I use it for my production, which was harvested in a sustainable way. Beautiful case as well. But do you really need such a huge effort on transparency and monitoring to make this happen? Wouldn't be probably a simpler process with the certificate, also that you have the proof and also can make it very transparent? Wouldn't this be enough and also bring this to a higher adoption? And that's basically where I believe we need to think about what is the right technology, what is the complexity for the distributed ledger technology to use, to make it really scalable, and also say, hey, we have proof, we have transparency, but on the other side, we run it also on in an efficient and effective way on the technology landscape, what we have. Just sharing my 2 cents. Sorry, a little bit longer answer, Justin, but I hope it helps also to understand a little bit where I'm coming, and that I focus very much on the cost perspective, as well as also what is the benefit at the end, what do you gain by using a technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for that. And I like that. I like that answer. And going back into kind of continuing on with that, given that you are in the healthcare space, this is one thing that's kind of been, this is a selfish question. All right. So, given that you entered into the healthcare space, how do you think AI is going to kind of assist? I don't want to say impact. How is AI going to kind of emerge and assist in the healthcare space?
Oh, Justin, same like you, I'm also personally very much interested. Fortunately, I haven't spent much time in my life at a hospital, but basically we are getting older, and therefore, of course, getting the best possible treatment for whatever intervention you have is highly appreciated. What we can see, and where really AI is already used today, is when you look, for example, on MRTs, when you get a scan from your body, basically also understanding where do you have certain areas, probably to look a little bit more specific, because you might have a risk to early identify cancer. The breast cancer identification, I think, is amazing. It is working with AI-supported machine learning better than what a human doctor can do, despite all the experience. So I'm not arguing, by the way, that artificial intelligence will replace a doctor. I'm more that basically you augment the capabilities what a medical doctor, an expert, a professional has with a huge database, and really going for image recognition to identify, and breast cancer is definitely one of the best examples, where you have also millions of scans where machines can simply do this better, and then finally a doctor is confirming that it is cancer or not, and also can help you with the best treatment. Another one I was very impressed, and when I started my role as CEO, I was also visiting some hospitals. Was amazing going also in an OR to really see live what's happening there, and how a doctor is performing. I was more interested certainly in the supply chain procurement process. How do they get the medical devices and all of that? But when I was in an OR and was seeing there was a robot basically assisting a doctor during an intervention, a surgery, I was totally impressed. So the Da Vinci robotics technology, what I have seen, wow, this is really something where I can see and feel. This is where AI really is helping you. By the way, the doctor could be also on the other side of the planet, because he might be a specialist for a certain intervention, for a surgery, and just using basically a joystick and really helping a patient on the other side of the world, because he's the expert, the best you can get. That's really where I see great use cases, and also where we all can benefit from AI technology.
I never thought about I mean, I knew they had robotics, within the healthcare industry, but I never thought about kind of integrating AI with robotics. That's the true technological convergence now, isn't it?
It is, Justin. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So do you have anything else to add?
I think another topic on AI, to be a little bit more pragmatic and look in how we, for example, are using it. I'm using it in my role. What's very important is also we have seen what COVID did, the disruption in the supply chain, what we have, but even going a little bit further down, one single ship, the Evergreen, probably all remember that a ship got stuck in the Suez Canal, and basically by that, the entire supply chain came to a standstill between Europe and Asia, and the other way around. I think this is also a very good case. How can you really track and trace all the different factors of your supply chain, the ship, what you have, certain delays, and how can you also early include this in your planning. When you see that a ship already gets delayed in a harbor in Shanghai, for example, so basically, you have a chance to react. You have a chance to look for substitutes. For certain interventions, you can in healthcare, you can probably also move something a few days if you need a hip replacement, something like that. Might be not convenient, but basically you're not dying on that. On the other side, if you need really for cardiology, if you have an intervention here, you are dependent that you get help immediately and that everything what you need is available. So therefore, using machine learning capabilities by monitoring suppliers, insights, or also catastrophic events, what might happen, or just basically a disruption wherever it happens, and integrates this in your dashboards, and you get an overview and have a chance to react early. I think this is, for me, a very practical use case with more machine learning capabilities, which is a subset of AI, and deep learning is the next level then where you go further down. All of that is artificial intelligence. So therefore, I would include this, and I would mention this as a great example what you can use and where you benefit from the technology today by working with all the information what you get from different sites. A human brain simply can't process so much information, but a machine can, and can help you also to bring it in a structured format to alert you whenever an alert is needed.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So what would be your calls to action, in terms of technological convergence and, how people can benefit from it?
I always say, coming back to the use case example, there's on the one side all the technology, what gets out, and basically there's a buzzword, and I like Gartner is using the hype cycle as a definition. Basically, there's a buzzword like blockchain. We mentioned that, artificial intelligence. You can expand this with IoT, circular economy, now sustainability trends, and so on. And all of that is great that the technology exists. I think for you as a business leader, it helps you to get alerted what is available on the market and what is coming up right now. What you also need then to do is to prioritize, because only when you focus, you can achieve results and you can help your company. If you do everything and look in all the technologies and all the possibilities, you get distracted and probably will not get any results from that. Therefore, I always advise, keep an eye on the market, what's happening, make a reality check. What is it and what can it do for your business? Is it something where you have time, money, resources, and should spend also for the benefit of your customers? Because that's at the end what counts. If customers are not buying your products, your services, you're running out of business. You might be really good in whatever you do, but basically at the end, a customer needs to pay the bill. And this is really where I advise, look in what can really help you, what is benefiting your customers, and what makes sense also from the business case to invest in, that you are not getting distracted and not losing focus.
Excellent. So Dr. Vollmer, thank you for your time today. Where can everybody find you?
So, Justin, it was a great pleasure, and please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, Marcell Vollmer, or my Twitter handle, mvollmer1. That's how you find me, and I try also to share the latest insights on technology, some innovations here on social media. I love engaging on social media, and yeah, looking forward also hearing from you and engaging with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, and for everyone else, until next time.
Awesome.